Hey everyone, Boardgames Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I was sent a copy of Frenemy Pastry Party, a game made in Taiwan brought over to the USA by Solis Game Studio. Frenemy Pastry Party is a hand management card game for 3 to 6 players that plays in 15 to 30 minutes. Everyone is trying to bake cakes. When you think you're ready and you have most of the ingredients, then you can do this and you can ask your friends for help for the ingredients that you don't have. They can choose to say yes, they will help you, or no, that they won't. And if you end up having enough ingredients from your own hand, plus the extra possible ingredients from your friends, then you will gain the cake card, and your friend who helped you will gain their ingredient cards. Both of these cards are worth some points. Each cake card is worth 5 points, and each ingredient card that you use to help another player is worth 1 point each. So in the game, you'll be trying to collect ingredients to bake the cake and hope that your friends might help you as well. They, of course, will also benefit each and every time that they decide to help out. To set up the game, you'll first set up the cake deck. It is shuffled and 3 cards are placed out face up. Now these are all the available cakes to bake at this time, and after one is taken, then you will replace it with a new card from the deck. The ingredient cards are shuffled as well, and 5 are placed out face up. These will be ready for players to take to use to bake their cakes, and when a card is taken, again you will refill it with a new card from the deck. Each player will randomly take an animal card, which provides a way to score in-game points. You will need to end the game with the most of the stated ingredients under your animal card compared to all other players, which really means that you will need to help other players by using that certain ingredient more than other players will. If you end up being the otter, then you just need to have the most cards of any type more than all other players. The game will include a fox card as well, and I'm unsure of its ability, but I'm hoping that it's going to be something exciting. Anyways, you will need to keep your animal card face up, and all your cake cards and ingredient cards that you collect will be placed underneath that card. Each player will also start the game with 2 randomly dealt out ingredients. Play goes in a clockwise direction, and when it's your turn, you will do one of 2 actions. First, you can collect an ingredient and add it to your hand. If there's ever 4 or more of the same ingredient, then you can actually take 2 of those. Or the second action is that you can bake a cake. And so to do this, you will raise the card that you wish to bake because you will need to show that you have all the ingredients before taking the card. And then you can ask up to 2 players to help you bake the cake by asking them to help you with a specific ingredient that is shown on that cake card. The chosen player can decide to help or not, and can play up to the total number of ingredients stated on that cake card, even if the active player only needs 1 of the stated cards. That player will then place the number of cards that they want to help out in front of them. The active player will continue asking the same player for additional ingredient cards to help out, but once that player says, "I don't have it," then they won't be able to help out any longer. You may then ask another player, the second player, to help out and follow the same steps. Whenever 2 players have both said no, "I don't have it," then you can no longer ask any more players for help. You will then place the remaining cards left needed to bake the cake if you have the remaining cards in your hand. If you have enough ingredients from the ones other players have placed out and the ones that you placed out, then you have successfully baked the cake. If not, then it is considered a baking disaster. When successful, you will then take the cake card and you'll place it under your animal card. And your friends who helped out will take their ingredient cards that they used to help you and they place them under their animal card. When it's a baking disaster or failure, everyone will place their ingredient cards back into their hands and the cake is pushed back into its original place. Play keeps going until there is no more cake cards left in the draw pile, leaving only 2 out on the table, or if the ingredient cards run out. At that point, players will count their points of only the cards left under their animal cards, again, cake cards counting as 5 points each, and each ingredient card counting as 1. Players will then compare how many types of ingredients each of them have so that they can score their bonus points from their animal cards. The player with the most points wins the game and becomes the pastry party champion. Now, my kids absolutely love the theme, the art, and baking cakes. It's fun to have a game where they love it so much, but it still has some mechanics involved in it. As for playing it with adults only, the game becomes more mathy. You know, if the cake card requires 7 ingredients to make it, and the winner will gain 5 points for it, and the players who help out will gain 1 point for each ingredient, do they help out? Do you decide that even though you have the ingredients, you're going to become the enemy this round? It also depends on what ingredient that they are asking for, because if I can play 3 of the same ingredient to score me 3 points right now, that might just be worth it enough for me to do that. But then if the second player that they ask also uses 2 cards for another ingredient, then the active player only needs to play 2 more cards to score 5 points. Now, do you hold back or do you help out? Also, some players learn to hoard as much of a certain ingredient as much as they can, so that either players have to ask them for help to bake it, or players won't be able to bake that card for a very long time until they get it. Yeah, now, I think I'm understanding that frenemy part of the game. Now, the game is straight to the point. It's a light card game. It has cute art and theme. It's a game that can be very sweet to play, but also depending on the players that you play with, it can cause some aggressive tactics, leading to a change in how you play the game, and possibly changing some friends into enemies. So grab your friends and your enemies and all these ingredients so that you can play Frenemy Pastry Party by Solis Game Studio. Again, this is Boardgame Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.